And we're back, AdventureBlur here. Well guys, it finally happened. After months of speculation and rumors, the first issue of the IDW Sonic series is out. I'm planning on reviewing every issue, so it's time to start with the beginning. I'm going to keep this first part spoiler free, but I will talk about some spoilers later. Of course, I'll let you know when that happens, so let's get started. To put it simply, I really enjoyed this first issue. It was very action-packed, but it already dealt with some of the topics I want to mention. It truly dealt with the aftermath of Forces, which I loved. I feel like Forces was a huge impact on the characters in the series, and this comic shows that well with Sonic and Tails. There was even a nod to the custom character in it as well, and I loved that. Sonic's character as a whole was nailed on this issue, and it honestly gave me some of my favorite Sonic moments in a while. My only issue with this issue was that it was mostly action. It did set up stuff for issue 2, which is fine, but I would have liked more story. The fact that we're getting an issue a week in April is likely the reason for that, so I'm not complaining too much. I mean, the more the merrier. But still, I felt like it was somewhat lacking for introduction to a new Sonic series. Overall, it's a must-read, especially if you enjoyed Forces. It has some great character moments, good setups, and plenty of nods to previous games. I'm about to mention a few spoilers, so you've been warned. An aspect I'm really curious to see mentioned in later issues are the Badniks. They're using the Heroes and Generations designs, instead of the Forces versions. I really hope this is mentioned and even explained why Eggman changed the design in the first place. I used to believe that Eggman would just keep upgrading them, but after seeing the Egg Pawns reappear again and again after Unleashed and Forces, I'm not so sure now. Now something they have to answer is who's controlling Eggman's army. They already said it isn't Eggman, so I'm curious as to who it is. I personally believe it's Infinite. With him disappearing at the end of Forces and already hating Shadow because Shadow beat him, it wouldn't be a surprise for Infinite to want revenge on Sonic in a similar manner. And we know very little about Infinite's past, so him being a major threat in the comics will allow some time to know more about the character. Another viable option will be Metal Sonic. We technically don't know what happened to him after Heroes. His boss fight in Generations was a past version of him, and his fight in Forces was actually a creation of Infinite. The way the mysterious guy spied on Sonic and coordinated the attack seems like something Metal Sonic would do. And Metal Sonic would know how to control Eggman's robots the best because he is one. The only other option I can think of outside of those two is probably just a new character altogether. Something else I want to point out in particular is the scene with Tails. When Sonic tells Tails that he's going after the robots to destroy them, Tails has a moment where he tells Sonic to be careful. This scene is definitely a highlight for the issue for me. It dealt with Tails' arc in Forces very well. And even though Tails' arc is very controversial, they made it continue and work in this issue even better than they did in Forces. We have to understand that, in Forces, Tails dealt with 6 months believing Sonic was dead. We do see him fight Eggman in a similar situation in Adventure 2, but Tails found out minutes later that Sonic was okay. So Tails losing in Forces worked okay. But this scene made it work so much better. It makes you understand that there are stakes in these adventures, and that Tails knows it. I really hope they touch on this again, and soon, because I really want to read more about this. That's about all I have to say about issue 1. I hope you guys enjoyed these reviews I'm going to do, and I'll leave a link to where you can buy the comic in the description. Tell me in the comments what your favorite part of the comic was, or if you even enjoyed it. And as always, this is AdventureBlur, and I will see you next time with another comic, because comics are cool. They are. Especially when you got like a blue hedgehog running around in them, fighting a, bald guy with a nice mustache, alongside a two-tailed fox and an echidna, maybe another pink hedgehog thrown in with a hammer. Comics are cool.